Hello everybody, welcome back, and I am TheChornick, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about Pokemon Sun and Moon episode number 42. Where do you even begin? Where do I even start? Like, seriously, like, every single frame of this episode was so good. Like, every single frame of it was something worth talking about and, like, nitpicking. Like, of course, I don't want to keep you guys here for, like, hours or whatever talking about every little thing that's going on, because literally you could talk about what all these, like, literally majority of this episode were screenshots, like frames. Like, they didn't even have time to make it a clip. Like, majority of this episode was them showing flashbacks or them showing a certain Pokemon, or, you know, the Alola gang or Misty and Brock jumping with a bunch of the Pokemon and stuff. Like, majority of it wasn't even clips, it was like screenshots, because you could tell the Pokemon writers, they just wanted to push in as much as possible within the 22 minutes that they had, you know, with the 22 minutes that they had to push together as much nostalgic, all these events, and make it plot wise too, like make it actual story that you can follow, and try to like push all this together like in 22 minutes. And you can really try that. They try to do a lot, and I see a lot of people complaining, saying, oh, they should have put more in there, they should have put more Pokemon in there, or they should have gave these Pokemon more screen time. Why was Squirtle only shown in a screenshot and he wasn't actually moving, you know? Like, why you know, like, why can't you give them more time? Well, it's 22 minutes, okay? And Pokemon, they're really trying to push as much stuff in one episode. Next episode is going to be a lot more plot driven and stuff, and they're going to have a lot more events happen. But right now, they were trying to push everything together. And so, of course, they left out a lot of Pokemon that could have been in there. So, some questions might come up to you like, oh, where's Primeape? Was that Pidgeot Ash's Pidgeot, you know? So, there's a lot of questions that you'll be like, why wasn't, you know, all the Johto or all the Hoenn, or where was the Kalos Pokemon? Where was the Unova Pokemon? Where was the Sinnoh Pokemon? You could be like, where was, you know, like, all these guys? So, it makes you kind of wonder why do they, you know, they doing this stuff, but in how they could potentially put all those Pokemon in future episodes as well, if, say, we go to other regions, such as that interview giving a hint and all that. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gonna try to, like, I feel like this review is just gonna go forever, but we are gonna try to talk about the most important stuff in the most important stuff. And this episode is just amazing. Like, if you haven't seen this episode, go watch it. Like, go watch it. Like, I don't know, like, you should go, come on. Like, what are you doing? Go watch it. You love the original series, go watch it. If you're a fan of the Pokemon anime, go watch it. Just go watch this episode, okay? So, there's so much happened. Okay, so they left, right? They were gonna go from Alola to Kanto. Ash wasn't really excited. He wasn't really excited about doing it. He was kind of bummed out because he's like, oh, I have to go back home. You know, like, he wasn't really that excited. While the other Alola gang, they were like, oh yeah, Kanto, awesome. You know, some field trip. So they go there with the purpose of learning about Kanto, learning about the different forms, learning about gym leaders, you know, learning about the gyms, why Kanto is different than Alola, etc. So they go there, and Ash starts, you know, acting like he knows everything. He's walking through the fields with his hands behind his head, acting all cool like he knows everything about Kanto, and, you know, all the rest of the Alola gang are just so, like, hyped and, like, looking around, like, you know, dazed by everything. So, you know, they obviously go to Kanto on the plane, and Kiawe's freaking out because he'd rather be on Charizard, and Team Rocket ends up tagging along, sneaking on board with them. They make it over to Kanto, and Brock, his first appearance is with Lily, and Lily, when she got off the plane, Vulpix felt really, really sick, so Brock, you know, the Pokemon doctor, came over and healed, and checked up on the Vulpix. And that's when Ash realized that Brock was there, and then Brock, like, was like, oh, and Ash was like, oh, and they started running towards each other, and then all of a sudden there's a girl that comes into the picture, and Brock just bursts for the girl instead, and Ash is like, what the heck? And so, and then Misty grabs him, and that's how Misty came into the picture, and then they kind of introduced themselves to the Alola gang, and so Misty was like, oh, I'm a water trainer, I'm also a gym leader. And Brock was ready to list off what he was. He was like, I'm a Pokemon breeder, I'm a Pokemon doctor, and also, and then he like turns around, he's like, and I'm a gym leader. And everyone's like, oh, whoa, he's a bunch of things. So it's really cool to see the interactions between these characters, between Misty, Brock, and the Alola gang. And we got to see a lot of moments where like the girls would go off and do something and the guys would go off and do something. We saw the Onix and the Marowaks butting heads, and I don't know if that Marowak was Brock's. I think it is, but yet again, Misty and Brock were just sending a lot of Pokemon out in Pokeballs. Who knows, maybe all those Pokemon were theirs, but I doubt it. I bet there was, they're just throwing them out to throw them out. Because perhaps, Professor Oak just gave them the Pokemon. But nonetheless, Kiawe was awesome too. There was a lot of great Kiawe moments, I have to say. Especially with not just the Marowak, but there was a Rapidash moment where he just really wanted to get on the Rapidash and see how it felt. And once he jumped on Rapidash, he just went into a burst of tears and he was blushing. He was like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing!" And then the trio. Like, oh my goodness, and he saw the bald one, and he was like, "Why?" And he takes off his wig out from nowhere and places it on the bald one, the Kanto version. Like, there's just so much you could go on and just talk about this episode, and all of Ash's Pokemon that showed up, right? Corphish is the most recent one that he caught that was shown, besides the Alola forms, obviously. So they only showed a few Kanto Pokemon, a few Johto Pokemon, and a few, and pretty much his Corphish from the Hoenn region, right? So, this makes you wonder, okay, why didn't they show any Kalos Pokemon? I mean, I'm sure everyone wants to see, freaking Hawlucha again, right? Or Greninja, or whatever. Even though Greninja and Goodra are often good old Kalos, you could have at least showed maybe Hawlucha, right? Or Talonflame, or Noivern, right? But no, none of the Kalos Pokemon were there, none of the Sinnoh or Unova Pokemon were there either, so a lot of people were kind of asking questions. In my opinion, and my theory, is that they are going to have other arcs, and the Pokemon Company realizes that they couldn't fit everything, in 2 episodes, and 2 22-minute episodes, you could only put so much, and have like a story off of it too. So I think that's why in the interview they were saying, like, we are really up to doing more of these, so we could, probably put more of this stuff in, more of the Pokemon moments, more of him journeying to these other islands, not islands, but regions, and seeing all these other companions. So I think what's going to happen is that there's going to be 2 more arcs. This is my theory. This is the best case scenario in my opinion, that's reasonable. So right now they're in Kanto, right? They could walk over to Johto. I mean, the next titles aren't even not revealed yet, so, I mean, they could just be walking right over to Johto in the next couple episodes, right? But if not then, they could probably go to Hoenn, where there are contests. So May, Dawn, and Serena that we learn has left for Ho-Oh to do contests in order to learn more about Pokemon performances, right? So we could potentially go to Hoenn next, and we'll see more Hoenn Pokemon. We would see probably the Sinnoh Pokemon, since Dawn is there, right? And I would say that would be it. We would probably see more Johto Pokemon as well, so maybe Heracross, because I really wanted to see Heracross, but Heracross wasn't there. So the thing is, we need to see those Pokemon, and I think those 3 girls could all show up in that arc, right? For those 2-3 episodes, how many episodes they're going to show them for that Hoenn region. So with that being said, that could be its own arc, and then we could go to Kalos. Kalos, not Unova, Kalos. So skip over Johto and skip over Unova, right? We go to the Kalos. And then Kalos, we see Greninja again. We see Goodra again. We see Clement and Bonnie again. And Silent's there, so we see Silent again. So might as well just throw Iris in there, and we see Iris again. To me, that makes the most sense. That is... To me, that is like just 2 more arcs. I mean, and just throw Iris with Silent and Clement and Bonnie because they're already there. Throw Dawn and May with Serena because that would make the contest and everything, and that's why Serena went to Hoenn maybe for the arc. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, like, that's my theory in regards to the arcs potentially coming up due to the interview that said that they were really do want to make more of these episodes if they have the full support of the audience and stuff doing it. And of course we have to be like, heck yes, because we want to see more of that, because they could only put so much in these 2 episodes. But yeah, they just delivered fan service out of fan service, all like over and over again. Like, again, with all these screenshots and all these moments, just so much fan service. Muck Bulbasaur, the Tauros, like all these moments where Ash saw his Pokemon and all his past Pokemon and stuff. And then all the ones that they could show. They showed the Squirtle Squad, obviously, with the shades. That was so cool, seeing the Squirtle Squad. Everyone's speculating that the Pidgeot is Ash's, which might give, I don't want to say closure, but at least we know that he's alive and back at, Oak's lab and stuff. We only got to see Charizard through a flashback, and Lavatar through a flashback, and Butterfree through a flashback, so we didn't actually get to see them there then and there. Otherwise, I think they would have had a lot more screen time. But, I could just list off so much more. Like, it just goes on, and like, the Alola girls, for example. Let's just go on to talk about them for a second. So, the Alola girls and Misty, right? So, they went off and hung out with each other, and they went swimming, and Lana and Misty went swimming together, and there was Corphish and Totodile. We got to see both Ashes, Corphish and Totodile, right then and there. And Misty actually took off her clothes, right? And we got to see her in game form, like her bathing suit when she's in the games. When you fight her, like she has that like bathing suit on, right? She's not actually in those overall like clothing. So that was actually kind of cool that it was under her this entire time. Like it kind of blew my mind when I saw that. But that was also cool. Seeing all those cute Mallow moments, those really cute Lily moments too. Like those characters were just absolutely adorable. Like oh my gosh, everything was great. Sophocles, I don't think Sophocles had that many great moments, except he did have this one moment when he was on the bus and he was just like passed out, like on the back seat of the bus. That's like the one moment I remember from him out of this whole episode. That was kind of funny. But besides that, I mean, Sophocles needs a little bit more moments, I think. But I think it's just because most people look at the female characters and look at Ash and Kiawe. Most people look at the characters that are more prevalent, not as filler-ish as Sophocles is. Poor Sophocles. He needs a little bit more love. But overall, looks like they are going to go to the gyms. The gyms next episode, we're going to see Misty and Ash battle each other right off the bat, and that's the reason why Misty and Brock were here in the first place. They were there to teach the class about Pokemon Alola forums and to teach them about gyms. So that's why, Professor Oak called them down to be here so they could teach the class, Ash in the class, even though Ash already knows about gyms, and Ash is so stoked about this because he wants to battle him. The gym, Misty's gym, looks completely renovated. It looks sweet. So perhaps maybe Misty really became like very, very popular, or made enough money to renovate it, or maybe her sisters got really, really popular. I mean, they're famous already. I mean, why not? They just get more money to renovate the gym. So that gym looks really nice because it used to look like a Dugong thing, didn't it? So that gym's all renovated. Ash is going to battle her first in the next episode. Then we're going to see Kiawe battle Steelix with Turtonator. So overall, that's going to be like the more action-packed, right? That's going to be the gym battles and all the good stuff. We also saw Jigglypuff in this episode. Like, see, I keep bouncing here and there because like I keep remembering things. And Jigglypuff was in this episode. Jigglypuff and Ash and Misty and Brock already knew what Jigglypuff was gonna do when she sang, and they were freaking out. And Misty and Brock yelling at Mallow to get away from that Vileplume and stuff because of its gas. And it just like you could see all just the nostalgia. And Mew, okay, hold on. Why the heck do they throw Mew in there? Okay, is what I want to know. Why would they throw the mythical Pokemon Mew? Unless they were just trying to show like a Kanto legendary, just to add a little spice, a little cherry on top. They throw Mew out of all of the Kanto legendaries in there. They just throw Mew. Just she's watching the whole group at the very end of the episode, and then she like flies off into the distance to the forest, right? I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do you just throw the Mew in there? Like, they literally thought of everything and thought about what to put in here. I'm really upset that we didn't get to see like Snorlax and maybe some of the other Pokemon like Heracross and stuff, but maybe Bayleaf. But we didn't get to see like all the Pokemon, and you really couldn't. I mean, you really can't. You can only put so much in an episode without it just looking like crap, like it just looking like a bunch of screenshots. And that's what this episode started looking like. It was a bunch of screenshots. But I think I pretty much hit the nail on the head in regards to the majority of things that happened in this episode. Beware, again, had its little kick, you know, its little gag with how it just jumps. It just comes out of nowhere. It seemed to fly in on a plane, drop from 300,000 feet all the way to the ground, and took no damage, and grabbed, you know, Jesse and James and blasted off. I'm sorry, but that was just awesome. And seeing Staryu and Crobat and Lycanroc, Ash's Lycanroc, face off against Team Rocket was a nice touch too. It just seemed like a Kanto episode as well. I mean, it's a basic story, but you know, Team Rocket in there, and they defeat Team Rocket, and then they have the rest of their basic story, and then they go off into the distance, and yeah, greatness. You know, it's just overall. I keep saying that word, but overall, it was amazing. Like, you guys can post it in the comment section below what your favorite moments were. You know, please post it in the comment section below, because there was a lot of good stuff. There was truly a lot of good stuff. Just post it in the comment section below. Post what you wished you would have saw but didn't see. You know, for example, like if there's a Pokemon or event that you wanted to see happen or something, post it in the comment section below, because I know there's a lot of stuff that they left out. You know, that they could have potentially shown from the Kanto region, or just Pokemon in general that Ash could have saw. And a lot of people I've seen on Twitter and stuff just are complaining that, you know, Ash and just didn't have enough time with the original Pokemon. I mean, Bulbasaur had the most time with them in this episode, and that was for like 20 seconds. That's about it. Every other Pokemon had like a screenshot worth of a frame, you know. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, post all that stuff in the comment section below. I feel like I'm gonna keep rambling forever and ever, amen, about just every little thing that happened. But I think what's best for you guys, just go watch this episode. Maybe make your own theories and speculation of what's to come, what's to happen. Overall, it's just, we have one more episode with the gym battles, right? And then Ash goes back home. So it's kind of sad to see that we get all this awesomeness right off the bat, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, we're going to go back to Alola. But perhaps we will have those future arcs coming into place as well. We might see future Pokemon. It's nice to see. I really wanted to see Primeape and Pidgeot, like, and Butterfree, and like see, you know, where are they now? You know, I kind of wanted to see that as well. Just to answer what I asked you guys about, what do you want to see? You know, like, I just kind of want to see Ash actually see Pidgeot and actually catch up with him, because he left him, you know, and he didn't come back, and Pidgeot will be like, what are you doing, man? Like, you left me, and you never came back like you said you would. Stuff like that. I mean, it's just, there's so much you could think about in regards to these episodes, and I don't really want to keep you guys here for much longer. We've already been here for like probably at least 18 minutes or something like that. So without further ado, I love you. Please post in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings. I'm sure they're freaking fantastic. Nostalgic, 11 out of 10 episode. Like a solid, just over the top, 110% episode. Things are good, ladies and gentlemen. Pokemon Sun and Moon is good. Life is good. I love your faces. Stay safe, make good decisions, ladies and gentlemen. Things are looking bright. Things are looking spicy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Can't wait to see you next one. Peace off! Thank you very much.